to a report from the Daily Mail, that's why Diddy had a breakdown. A person close to him apparently said, quote, "Spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him." If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but they refused. This same friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, "He eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it." This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question while he's been at MDC. When he first arrived, he was on suicide watch, which the U.S. Department of Justice National Institute of Corrections describes as supervisory precautions taken for suicidal inmates that require frequent observation. Diddy's suicide watch was only temporary, though. He was housed in a special protective unit of the jail after that for the first few weeks of his stay. But Diddy right now is in Gen Pop, meaning general population, the place where majority of the inmates stay. And that's where he apparently had this meltdown.
Reports have emerged about Diddy facing mistreatment at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. Sources close to him have revealed that he allegedly experienced a breakdown after being harmed. Concerns are growing as Diddy is reportedly struggling with his mental health. Additionally, with both Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez being called as witnesses, he is said to be feeling increasingly anxious.
But you knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a need to fly as if you were flying commercial.
Sources close to Diddy are reportedly exposing troubling aspects of his past, and several prisoners have also filed lawsuits against him. Jonathan I., who was arrested in connection to a shooting at Trump's National Doral Golf Course in Miami, has given an exclusive interview discussing his experiences with Diddy. During an interrogation in 2018, Jonathan claimed that Diddy manipulated him and that powerful figures in Hollywood pressured him into committing crimes.
But going back to Cardell Smith's filing, his notice says that Jennifer Lynn Lopez, a.k.a. J-Lo, a.k.a. Jenny from the Block, quote, will be called as a material witness and expert to Sean Combs' viewing, possession, and distribution of his sexual assault upon the plaintiff in 1997 and the orders of defendant Sean Combs forcing Jennifer Lopez to remain silent about the videotaped sexual assault of plaintiff by defendant. Plaintiff states that the material witness Jennifer Lynn Lopez, also known as J-Lo and Jenny from the Block, was engaged in a relationship with the defendant Sean Combs during 1999 and 2001, and that the sexual assault of the plaintiff was recorded, distributed, and held by the defendant at his New York residence and recording studio. And during the relationship with Jennifer Lopez, she was made privy to this video that was taken by Sean Combs and his employee Kirk Burrows. She, J-Lo, has known this video existed and was in existence and took no action to make it known to anyone in law enforcement, and that she was even questioned by New York Police Detective Derek Palmer about this matter, and that the report will show that her answers to this tape was and still remains a resounding yes to its existence. And again, Cardell Smith writes that he wants to call Officer Derek Palmer as a witness because he says Palmer is the one who questioned Lopez and believes that he will have testimony that could help his case. Now, as I mentioned, Diddy's legal team has called for this entire case to be thrown out. Cardell Smith has filed a massive response to that request that totaled more than 200 pages. Probably half of it was just straight up copies of case law that seems to support his arguments, word for word. It's something out of like a legal textbook. There's so much to slog through, but I kind of want to give you some of the highlights. So first, in addition to the claims of rape and a cover-up, Cardell Smith also claims and alleges that Combs was violent towards his loved ones. At times, Cardell Smith addresses alleged threats against his family. Other times, he says Combs actually caused serious injuries to his brother. His response reads, defendant used threats of murder to force the plaintiff to not bring the case to any court of law enforcement until the homes of the defendant were raided by Homeland Security, that the plaintiff knew it was a safe time to bring the case, and that is why we are here at this juncture. And Cardell Smith argued that fear for his own safety and the safety of his family is one of the main reasons that he waited so long to report the alleged rape, and says that that reason alone should override any issue with the statute of limitations, that these claims might be otherwise be time barred. And he also argues that while he's been in prison, fellow inmates and prison guards have threatened him on behalf of Sean.
Another prisoner who has filed a lawsuit against Diddy is Cardell Smith. Cardell, who is currently incarcerated for an alleged crime, claims that Diddy framed him. He previously won a $100 million lawsuit against Diddy, but Diddy's legal team is now challenging that ruling. In his lawsuit, Cardello alleges that he first met Diddy in 1997 during a party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit, where he was working as a bartender. He has named Jennifer Lopez as a material witness in the case, claiming that Diddy recorded an incident involving him and later showed the footage to GLO. According to Cardello, despite being aware of what happened, Jennifer Lopez did not report the situation to authorities or offer any assistance.
The proposed bail package. A $50 million bond, co-signed by him, his mom, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. It's going to be secured by the equity in...
The longer Diddy remains in prison, the more lawsuits are piling up against him. Many individuals who were once silenced are now coming forward with their claims. Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez are just the first high-profile names to be implicated, and as Diddy's legal battle continues, more names are expected to surface. Sources say Diddy is deeply concerned for his safety and is making urgent efforts to secure his release. His legal team reportedly offered $50 million for bail, but the judge ultimately denied the request.